This person says, he obviously doesn't live in the United States. He says, religion is going to rip your country apart. I would dare argue that it's damn near there. I would argue that religion is the primary basis for most of the division in this country. Because you have extreme religious folks. Let's back this up a minute. Up until the early 80s, politics was politics, right? It was, I believe in smaller government, I believe in bigger government, I believe in social safety nets, I don't believe in social safety nets, I believe in the rugged individualist state. It was more economic policies and how we deal with foreign governments. And then along comes Ronald Reagan, right? And Ronald Reagan figures out that the Christian conservative movement in this country can be turned into a voting bloc. It can be turned into a voting base. And so he organizes, I believe, for the first time in our country's history, with any kind of actual gusto, the Christian conservative movement in this country to turn out and vote for Republicans. And ever since then, religion and politics have been intertwined on the conservative side, on the Republican side in this country, and it has gotten worse and worse and worse as it goes on, right? From Reagan to Bush to Trump, we have gone on a steady downhill decline of regressive policies. And for a bunch of people, meaning the Republicans, who pride themselves on the independent nature of this country and us escaping theocracies, and for as much as they hate theocracies in other countries, rightfully so, theocracies like the Muslim Caliphate, right? And that's not how societies are to be run. If you're religious, you be religious. If you're not religious, then you don't have to be religious. But for a group of people that hate that shit, they sure do want to go back to it, because they want to be able to legislate their religion into our laws and our lives. They want to be able to tell people what medical decisions they can make, who they can marry, what books they can read, so what, in some cases, what jobs they can have. Right there's a faction of the far right conservative movement, Christian conservative movement in this country, that don't believe that single mothers should be teachers because it sets a bad example for kids. That don't believe that anybody who's gay or trans should be a teacher because it sets a bad example for kids. So this steady regression back into a theocratic rule has been going on since the Reagan era, and it's gotten progressively worse. Now, here's the kicker. Trump doesn't give a fuck about religion, right? He doesn't give a rat's ass about religion. But they all think that he is the Messiah. He is sent by God to rule over us. The guy can't name a fucking biblical verse, right? He doesn't give a fuck about religion. He gives a fuck about enriching himself. As a matter of fact, I would dare say that Donald Trump is exactly who the Bible has warned these people about for generations. And then when he shows up, they're like, yeah, let me buy one of them fucking golden Bibles from you, buddy. Line up, I'll vote for you. If we continue to go down this slide with the conservative movement in this country, yeah, it's going to get real fucking ugly in this country in the coming next few decades. We've already regressed enough to the point where it's eroding our foundations. It's eroding who we are as a nation. If we allow them to continue to take hold and take root in this country, if we don't stop with the bullshit protest votes and voting against our own best interest, it will, in fact, tear our country completely apart. Here's the fucked up part about a little PS to this. The guy in the office right now, Joe Biden, is who they should all aspire to be. Joe Biden has deeply held religious beliefs. He is anti-abortion. But he is of the opinion that it is not his position to tell others that they need to be anti-abortion, that they need to live their life by his religious creed. Joe Biden is actually the embodiment of the freedom of religion that our Constitution enshrines. Yet, because he has a D next to his name, they can't fucking stand him. Well, because he has a D next to his name and because their fucking handlers told him that they need to hate him, they can't stand him.